Hey, if you're watching this, it's probably the recorded version. I'm live here getting loaded. I thought I'd do a quick live video. Seems to be all the rage. Big Rich, did I just see you on 44 in Missouri? No, but I will be there shortly. That's my twin. Jeffrey says first after Big Rich came in. Kevin and Ollie, what's up? Hey, nope, live. Hey, Harold, what's up? Yukon, Dennis, Pale Rider. Oh boy, Jeff owes a super chat, says Harold. Got my fly killer here. Morning, Trucker Steve. Yeah, I'm live. TK, as usual, your Periscope was cutting out, so I didn't mean to step on you, sir. This place is kind of in a messed up location. It's like one of those where you take a right and a left and left and left and right, left, and go under some trees that you probably shouldn't have, and you're looking at power lines kind of hoping for the best. TJ Jones, what's up, man? But I just uploaded this morning my, I couldn't sleep last night as usual, and I uploaded that, edited and uploaded that video of GATS. I know the beginning's kind of slow to get to the show, but I don't know, I just kind of wanted to do a journal. Now, I got stuff in my other camera. That was everything I did on my phone. Everything that's in the other camera, I'm looking at it, and I've put it on my computer, but I need to piece it together. That's going to require a little bit more editing, so that's probably just going to be like a bonus material. Matt Grady, what's up? Loading soda pop in Utah. Man, that's... Mountains of Utah is not the best place to be hauling 45K. I used to go to Utah all the time, Salt Lake City. When I was a company guy, we'd grab a load from Kansas City and take it to Salt Lake City. And it was always under 10,000 pounds. So there was one time where I took a heavy load. Usually we get heavy loads out of there like salt. That was kind of lame. I'm glad I load and unload myself. No wait. Yeah, this is hand loaded too. When I backed into the dock, I saw the roller deals. That means that they're just loading them. So it's gonna be light though. Broke down outside of Houston last night. A mechanic drove by and stopped. He got the engine working. I'm going to the casino when I go home. Dennis, I thought Houston was underwater. That's pictures I've been seeing. Hey Cobra, what's up, man? Cobra the Trucker. That's cool. That's a cool name. I like that name. So I missed most of Jeff's live feed this morning. I think he took it down. So anyways, I'm heading to Chicagoland if anybody cares. Yeah, that's why they changed my destination to Dallas. Had water in the fuel. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's going to be, you know, I avoid Houston for the most part anyways. But definitely now. I just don't know Houston like I know Dallas. I used to go to Houston all the time with my old company and did it a few times with Landstar. A lot of hazmat in the area. So 9 times out of 10, if you're going to Houston, you're pulling hazmat out of there in my world anyways. We have a yard there. Snyder has a yard there, but I've never been there. Kristen Trucker's been there. He's put it on his videos. Cousins that live down there says it's worse than Katrina rain-wise. Yeah, I've heard that. They're still getting rain dumped on them. I heard FEMA is paying good for those loads. Is it true? Cobra, I'm glad you brought that up because somebody wanted me to talk about the ramifications of taking freight down to Houston. So when I first started Landstar, there were reports of FEMA loads during Katrina where guys were taking basically like, say, a load of bottled water or, you know, diesel engines, you know, anything that helps emergency stuff. And then they basically were sitting. And guys were getting paid $1,000 a day. And some guys were down there for 30 days. So some guys made 30 grand off that deal. So Wynn got, you know, everybody got wind of that. And I think there was a hurricane not too long ago, I think last year, that rates weren't like they should be. Now, the thing about FEMA loads is, number one, you got to make sure they pay good going in. And then you also got to make sure that they pay for you to sit, because that's pretty much what you're doing. You're babysitting that load until they need it. Also, you have to make sure that you're not going in an area where they want you to drop your trailer, and then therefore you lose your equipment due to flooding or something like that. So there's a person I know, no names, he took a load down to Houston a couple of days ago. He made it. Then he tried to go deeper into Houston to get a load. Meanwhile, a hurricane's going on. Well, now his load canceled because he showed up at the shipper and no one was there. So now he's kind of stuck because the storm, you know, he lives in another southeastern state. Well, the storm is now going to start tracking east along I-10. So if he wants to get out of there, which he's going to have to go a long way around Houston now because of all the flooding, he's now having, you know, he's best to just go up to, you know, say, I don't know, Arkansas, and then try to cut over, or go to Dallas and try to cut over. And, you know, he's kind of, you know, that load paid super good going down there, but he's going to lose a lot of money on time and possibly a plane ticket and possibly lose his truck. So it's not worth it. So you got to weigh the options. Is it worth it or not? Headwater for Walmart, they're trying to make a buck. Right now, there's loads of water coming out of Budweiser. They have cans of water. They always do that for disasters. The loads of diesel for generators pays fantastic. I bet, Matt. Disaster relief workers get paid up to $18,000 for 30 days, non-driving jobs. Yeah, because you're on the government dime. The government just basically gives the state a blank check and they go to town. Well, contracted to FEMA, you also don't have to worry about hours of service. That's true. Dennis says, yeah, when you're working under the feds, you make some good cash. Yeah, but some of the brokers have found a way to cheapen that. I know that there was some frustration at Landstar for some of them FEMA loads. The important stuff like diesel and generators and stuff like that still paid good, but water, food, blankets was kind of a different story. But at the same time, if I was at Landstar right now, I'd be trying to find the agents that had the FEMA stuff. And that was suggested to me from an agent before. I finished delivering a load there at the airport in Tulsa, and he's like, hey, there's a hurricane. I forget which hurricane it was. He said, you ought to see if you can get on the FEMA loads. I said, well, do you know the agents that have the FEMA loads? No. You know, well, we've got 1,000 agents, you know. Hammer down, back and forth, yep. Yeah, okay, so Harold says, Findlay, Ohio lows not releasing empties for loads that will be going down. Yeah, that's going to screw up our trailer pool, for sure, Harold. TJ says, brokers, Fox in the hen house. Makes you want to buy an old used military truck and do FEMA stuff. Yeah, but can't make a career off of natural disasters. However, there's another tropical storm or something getting ready to hit the Carolinas. It's like they say, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. Yeah, that's true. I guess insurance would pay for your stuff if you drowned it, right? I did the last hurricane in New York and Louisiana, and the Louisiana loads we were stationed in Fort Montgomery and took loads into Baton Rouge, and back, got paid per day and paid mile. Yeah, that's the way to do it, Caslin. But yeah, you're going to take more of a risk, and if you do a FEMA load, if you're in the spot market, make sure that you're not going to get screwed. TJ says, later Steve, loaded and rolling. Thanks for showing up. That's all I'm doing. This looks like it's going to be hand loaded, so I'm just kind of chilling out with the windows open. You know, the clouds keep looking like it's going to rain, but it never does. You know, that's the way it was in Dallas. I don't think it rained. I think it drizzled a little bit in Dallas, and that was it. The truck stop I stayed at last night in West Plains, place is a crap hole, man. You got potholes with the jagged cement edges, so you definitely don't want to run into them. And then the clerks look like they probably deal meth on the down low. And then, you know, the food, I wouldn't trust the food in there. Come west, no storm, just sunshine. Bubba, if the freight paid better, I would be going back and forth to Arizona. That's all I would do. Arizona freight for us is bad. I've got a friend of mine that used to go to Arizona all the time, Casa Grande loads. Those of you who work at Schneider know who I'm talking about. Customer wise. Sorry, I gotta sneeze. And they've taken him away from us, I believe. He hasn't been able to do one in a long time. And he would have his wife look at the load board for the loads coming out of there, because if you don't get something out of there, you're deadheading in California to get something usually. Somebody asked me a question on the last video about, or a video about phases 1, 2, and 3 on our new application, I guess you could say. Phase 1 is right now, instead of crossroads, it's called accelerate. Buttons look different. Other than that, it's the same. Phase 2, they're going to turn that into an app. And the app will monitor movement, and that's it. It will have access to pictures, but only because you need it for TransFlow and that kind of thing. They eventually want to go to a system, which is probably phase 3, which will be a while, where the Qualcomm unit is a tablet, and you can scan your bills and do everything through that tablet, through the app. That's it. Schneider encourages all ICs to book their freight, have somebody off-site book your freight, to look on the load board for you, like a wife, brother, sister, husband. And so it's not going to track your movement based off of your truck number. It's going to base your movement on the actual device that you're using. Okay, so in order to access the load board, the app has to have access to the GPS. So if it detects you're moving, if it detects that the device is moving, then you won't be able to book anything, which you shouldn't be doing that anyways. Look at Jeffrey Like. He's going to buy me some more pans. Thank you, Jeffrey. I appreciate that, sir. Cobra says rest areas are the best. Yes, I like it out west, man. The Walmarts have truck parking out there, and sometimes you get out in the rest areas out there in like Arizona or Wyoming, and you can see all the stars, man. I love it out there. I used to live in Arizona. Going out west brings back a lot of memories of when I was a kid riding with my dad in his truck. Estes has the account for FEMA, Steve. I would check them. I can't do anything about it, Estes, or Kaislin, because you know, we can't go off of load boards. So if I was at Landstar, I would check that out. Go to Cali and then work back to East. Bubba, that's kind of hard, man. California is like like once you're there, you can work that whole area. But then coming out east, man, it's a little bit difficult. There was a load that was paying really good going to Nogales one time, and I almost clicked on it, and I looked 300-mile radius of anything going east, and there was nothing. I don't know California very well, even though I was born there. I don't know, I know Salt Lake a little bit, but I haven't been out there in so long. I've been to Arizona a few times with Landstar, but I haven't been with Schneider. I got a sister that lives out there. Outlaw, hello there, Snore. Word on the street is you won't be cited ELDs till April. Have you heard about this? Yeah, I read something about it. That's the government's way of compromising. I think it's a way of letting everybody ease into it. Because here's what a lot of people don't realize. The government the DOT made a lot of money off of logbook violations. Okay? They're taking a hit on this too. So you know what they're going to do to make up for that revenue? They're going to look at your equipment. And I know this for a fact because Transland was one of the first companies on the Omnitrax logbook system. And you know what they did? Transland used to be kind of an outlaw company. We had a lot of guys that had a lot of logbook violations. But once we were on ELDs, they started looking at the equipment closer. So, that heads up, guys, for the guys who aren't going to quit. Your equipment better be tip-top shape because they're going to look at the equipment a lot closer. Christian Trucker, what's up? How you doing, my friend? Bubba, email me at almond. Okay, Bubba, email me at stevenallington@gmail.com because I won't be able to, go back and read that. Drive in the dark and never get pulled in. I don't know, Dennis. I disagree with that statement because I remember one time I was trying to get home for Easter. It was Easter Sunday. It was 3 a.m. Guess who pulled me in? Missouri there at St. Clair. And they were looking at everybody with a fine-tooth comb because they were trying to get the guys like me that were trying to get home. Christian Trucker says, going to get groceries in a tropical storm. Man, I hope everything's all right for you. So you used to pull flatbed at Transland? No. No, I was dry van. Missouri is the only one that stopped me. Yeah, see, I live in Missouri, so, Colorado port of entry are the worst. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I went to work for Schneider, but they don't hire IC drivers from the Northeast. Yeah, if you live in Massachusetts, they're not hiring you. I think PA is about the best you're going to get. Yeah, Christian Trucker says Kentucky almost got him Sunday morning. And that's the thing. The DOT knows that there's a lot of guys that run at night because of that. And you guys know the trucks that haul the rides for like fairs and carnivals, the carnival rides. You notice that those guys mainly move at night because those trailers are hurting, man. They're barely DOT legal, if at all. And so a lot of times, man, you'll be running at 3 in the morning, and then they'll all pass you because they're trying to make it to the next town, and they don't want to be on the DOT radar. Z-Man, the drivers that are running wild are probably the same ones that should be worried about their equipment. Right. Kaislin, yeah, I live in Massachusetts. Yep. Yeah, you're SOL there. Dennis Smith, I want a reefer. Deck it out for Krusty Krab, home base, Bikini Bottom. Christian Trucker, I hadn't even weighed my wagon. Dude, my pressure went up. I bet. Heard a story about a driver who was in Ohio. He loaded, went to the truck stop, didn't slide his tandems back. They were all the way back. He had paper. He had a $2,000 overweight ticket on his tandems. That's false. Snyder has a yard outside of Worcester. Plenty of ICs run out of there. Yeah, Yukon, but they're not hiring guys out of Massachusetts. I don't know why. You know, Jeff will tell you that. I just, you know, if you know, there was a guy in our Periscope group, Pappy, that was trying to get on here, but he lived in Massachusetts and they wouldn't hire him. So, I know several guys from New York. Yukon brings up a good point. There are Snyder ICs that live in New York. You know, I could think of 3 right off the bat. And Yukon was a Snyder IC, and he's out of New York as well. I like living in North Carolina. Scales closed at 1700 and on the weekend religiously. Big Rich, you guys are getting ready to have a tropical storm, aren't you? Over there in the Carolinas. Dennis, my first time ever picking up an empty, forgot to slide tandem. Had the hardest time parking at the Pilot. There's a trick, man. There's definitely a trick to backing with your tandems all the way back. I'm a South Cal driver. They are always open. TK, they changed their IC hiring parameters as needed. TK, yeah, you're right. Call a different recruiter. Yeah. Yeah, Yukon, it just depends on the person, right? But yeah, if you guys are doing the FEMA stuff, man, be careful. I'm just staying in my lane, man. I got lucky, man. I got unloaded yesterday, and while I was sitting there, I was looking at the low board, which I wasn't happy with at that moment, and there was like nothing within 115 miles, and all of a sudden there was a load 10 miles away. Popped up, said new, good rate, good mile, going to a good area. What do you think about Crete? I've heard good things about Crete. There was a guy that used to write a blog, and he was on the Truckers Report. This is years ago, and he kind of gave the ins and out of how he operated. I kind of learned a lot about time scheduling through his blog, and he was a driver for Crete. I was going to go to Crete out of school, except that they did not accept my school because they didn't do a grade system. They just did a pass or fail. They wanted to see how well one did, and there was no documentation of that. So Crete became a no-go for me. But other than that, most of the Crete drivers are quiet. They really don't gripe a whole lot. So that's same. I've talked to 4 different recruiters, all same answer. You just don't believe everything a recruiter tells you. They're all full of it. Yeah. That's what I liked about the truck show, is that your badge says owner, operator, company driver, whatever you are. And so the recruiters didn't hassle me for the most part. I think Oakley came up to me, and, you know, of course they hire nothing but owner operators there out of Arkansas. And who else? Trailer Transit, they're kind of aggressive. But I kind of like their deal. If they were self-dispatch, man, that might be a good deal, because all you're doing is pulling new trailers. For the most part. I mean, they do other stuff too, but it's power only. But those guys are out 3 to 4 weeks at a time, and it's not self-dispatch. Mike Mentor says, Crete has treated me okay so far. Yeah. They kind of seem to be on top on the equipment. Crete is great for company drivers. Yes. I wouldn't be an owner-operator there because, well, personal opinion, it's mileage and you're dispatched. But they do have a large freight base. If they could do a low board, if they wanted to do a low board, they probably could. Out of all the dry van mega carriers, Crete is probably the top one. They're a step better than, say, you know, Werner, Swift, and all that. KLM sounded good, but no low board. Kaislin, they do have a low board now, but it's kind of stupid from what people have told me. It's hard to book the freight when you want. It's not as free as our board. and it's kind of in the beta stage, and it's not percentage. You know, low board works better if you don't have percentage, or I mean if you have percentage, I'm sorry. And if you get on the Tyson account as a lease operator, you're going to run a lot of nights, because you'll show up at Tyson, they'll tell you, yep, low won't be ready till midnight, so you got to do your break there, and then you're running all night. Okay, rain is during down. Got to get to Dallas so I can get a new water fuel sensor. Well, good luck. From my experience, smaller companies pay better. Lopez, I agree with that. What I like about small carriers is that there's less BS, less red tape. If you have to get a trailer fixed, a light fixed, a tire fixed, some of the major carriers can make that difficult. Now me, I can go into any Goodyear, Wingfoot, Speedco, and I'm pre-approved. I don't have to call anybody. Go to a TA Petro, I gotta call somebody. Outlaw running sometimes. Yeah, that's the thing, Lopez. I know a small company out of Nixa, Missouri, and those guys run Outlaw all the time. And the problem with these small carriers that do that is they're going to be hurting come December, because they won't know how to run. They won't know how to plan their loads. Now, a small carrier to sign on that lets you work off the load boards, like, say, Traveloco or Green Miles or something like that, that's the way to go, I believe. You know, it's like Landstar. You do all the work, but you're only making 65 to 72%. You go for a small carrier that pays 80 to 90%, that's the way to go. Christian Trucker says, I worked at KLM for 2 weeks. It was awful. I was Pale Rider. I was kicked out of a Wingfoot. Yeah, I was, man. Go to Pale Rider's channel. You'll see he got kicked out of a Wingfoot. Man, Pale Rider's such a troublemaker sometimes. Hazelin, I'm trying to get back on the road after being off for a year and a half, but I want to do lease purchase, not company driver crap. Yeah, KLM's got a decent lease purchase program, but you're going to be dispatched. Rain ain't so bad here in Southwest Mississippi, but it's definitely going to be here for a while. Yes, it's Christian Trucker. And I think from your video, your house is on stilts, isn't it? So that's probably a good thing. I wonder if I'm loaded. They said they'd come out and get me. It's probably break time, 11:30. This load is so light that's not even going to register on my pressure gauge. Yeah, everybody's taking a break. You gotta love it when you have a load appointment time at lunchtime, right? Make sure you get here at noon. Don't be late. Oh, we go to lunch at noon. Okay. So a half an hour load time can be an hour and a half after that. But yeah, with the rain all through the south and southeast, man, I ain't touching the southeast for a minute. Not that I go that area anyways, but I'll be doing my usual I-70 stuff. So, anybody else got any questions? Because if not, I'm going to end this video now. Trucker Steve says, I'm with a smaller reefer company, 200 trucks, and very happy as a company driver. I'm left alone to make decisions. Yeah, that's how it was for me at Transland. Transland had about, I think they have about 150 trucks. And we could route ourselves, fuel where we wanted for the most part. Trucker Eric, how's it going? Good to see you, sir. That's my dad's house. He lives on Pearl River. I live in a trailer on a hill. Everyone else be swimming before me. Okay, well, at least you're up on higher ground, so that's good. Roblox some more. Hi. So Trucker Eric says, I'm with the smaller reefer company. Now, you guys still on paper logs there, Eric? Hey, Billy, what's up, man? I mentioned you a few times in my latest video. Melton seemed good, but no lease purchase, all company drivers. Well, if you're looking at flatbed, you might want to look at Maverick. They have a lease purchase program, I believe. I could be wrong, though. I'm not going to make assumptions. How's your truck been doing? Asked Robbie North. Knock on wood, I fixed my CB antenna issue that I had in the last video. Check engine light's still on, and the APU is still running rough after about 6 hours. But other than that, it's doing all right. I got to get the truck in the shop to see what this check engine light's about, and then I think I'm just going to change all the filters. Yes, paper, next 2 years, glider, 99 engine. Oh, lucky you. Milton has owner-operators, though. Milton says Danger Mouse. But, yeah, the truck's been doing good, knock on wood, and I got it all purdied up for the show. Man, it turns out hardly anybody hung out in the parking lot. It was just me, Pale Rider, TK, Billy, Harold, Russ. Yukon showed up for a minute. He was parked out there, but I think he did more of the events with other people. In my camera footage that I didn't upload yet, there's a whole area where it's all Schneider drivers that have gone to Travel Loco. Except for me and Pale Rider. Melton, sorry. Okay, yeah, because there is a truck called Milton, so you know, I kind of wondered. Lion didn't stay clean before Gats. You mean mine? Was that what you tried to say? I literally washed it the day before, the day I showed up. I showed up Wednesday afternoon. I think next time I'll just show up on Thursday, because I was worried about parking, which is why I didn't want to show up on Thursday. But I guess a lot of people kind of meander in Thursday afternoon, Friday morning. Robbie asked, do you have an email? Yes, StephenAllington@gmail.com. Billy. Big Billy says, I ended up with bird crap. I'm laughing at him because he parked behind me. We shared a spot. We were both two bobtails. And he parked like we were tail to tail. And so his truck was underneath the tree. And by the time that show was done, his nice black truck had a lot of white specks on it. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you, Billy. Yeah, I do. It's kind of funny. Yeah, this pickup good voice to text sucks. Now, there's a street here I had to back across, and you wouldn't believe how many people tried to jump in between me. I was laying on my air horn coming all the way across. Kaislin says, I don't trust Travel Loco. The owner's past is kind of hazy. That's been brought up before. Definitely that's the thing with smaller carriers. You got to do your research. A friend of mine, well, an acquaintance of mine, he has a company called Green Miles. And it's hard to get on with this company. I mean, he has a lot of rules that, you can't have this many tickets, and, he wants to see the inside and outside of your truck. He runs a tight ship. But once you're there, you've got freedom to do whatever you want as far as, the low boards and everything. The reason why he started that company, because he had been burned in the past of other small carriers taking advantage of owner-operators. So that's definitely something to factor. The mega carriers have their issues, but, I know that Schneider's not going to, suddenly yank my contract and not pay me. I mean, they could, but they're not going to, not pay me and disappear. So there is that. That's the risk you take with small carriers, and they're hard to research because You type in Schneider IC and you're going to get 1,000 different, results. You type in, a small carrier and you might not get any. I mean, Green Miles doesn't even have a website. I only know about them because the guy lives in my area and he's on the Rate Per Mile Masters. That's a good resource. If you want to find out what carriers can help you out for whatever needs you have, go on the Rate Per Mile Masters and people will lead you the right direction. That's the way to go. Yeah, after Billy left, I said in the video that we did musical chairs. The guy behind Pale Rider left, so I just parked in front of Pale Rider. And because he was leaving after me, I stayed until Saturday afternoon. He left Saturday. I think he didn't leave till Sunday morning. So I go to FMCSA to get their scores and etc. Check their business rating. Yeah, that works to a certain extent, but I don't know if you guys remember, but Prime went through a thing years ago, and to kind of get out of the bad rep, this is for the FMCSA though, they just changed their name to Prime Incorporated, Prime Inc. Sorry, there's a box truck back next to me with a beeper. Am I still riding my bike? HT Logistics. I don't have a bike. I mean, I do at home, but nothing in the truck. Trucker Eric lost half video I took, including the one with you. Yeah, I saw that. That's a bummer. Gotta go. Be good. Thanks for tuning in, Christian Trucker. Anybody who wants to follow another Schneider IC, Christian Trucker, go to his channel. Click on his profile here and go check it out. He's got some positive stuff. If you're if you're a Christian, you'll like his channel as well. Wire cutters, LOL. But yeah, I know a friend of mine that he had a ProStar that it beeped and he ended up unplugging it. But Gat's video came out last night. The stupid beepers. Yeah. I get it for a bus or that was a straight truck that just backed into me. I get it for that, but for a semi, obviously whoever put a beeper on the truck didn't have to sleep next to someone trying to back into a spot at 3 in the morning. That was the new camera I was using. Yeah, I need to get a GoPro. How do you like the KW compared to the old Pete? Night and day. Night and day. More creature comforts, more plugins, better handling, better steering, better aerodynamics, better fuel, better bunks. The APU works. It's less noisy, less wind noise going down the road. The CB works better. I mean, everything. I knew the only reason why I didn't have one of these when I bought my first truck is because they weren't available in the used market yet. Transland put me in a brand new 680 about a month and a half before I left. And I was like, this is the truck I want. Now the Peterbilt has a lot of space, but there's no shelving. It's like having an empty building and you got nowhere to put anything. So the top bunk had to be utilized, and it's just, there was only like two 12-volt plugins that worked in that truck. One up front, one in the back. That's what I trained in when I was a trainee. That was the truck I trained in. And it was good because it's a good team truck. I looked at a 587, which is the newer version of the 387. The interior is exactly the same. I thought about it, but I'm glad I didn't go that route. this truck is, I love this truck. So, Michael Dow, what's up, man? Well, I'm going to get off here, guys. I appreciate everybody coming in. Like I said, I was just getting loaded, was bored. Normally I get on Periscope when I do that, but Periscope hasn't been working that great. I'm gonna try it though. I'm gonna get on Periscope here in a second. If you're on Twitter, you can be on Periscope. Follow me at Snorlord. That's it. That's my handle on Twitter and on Periscope. I tend to blab a little bit more about more nonsense there. And I tend to say things I shouldn't be saying there. Alright, later, Eric. Alright, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll leave this video up because I don't think there's anything sketchy in it. So, see ya.